Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kenan and welcome to Wrestling is Awesome, your weekly show where we discuss everything WWE from Raw and SmackDown. Just a few wise men and a wise woman occasionally giving our thoughts and opinions on how WWE are booking things, the match qualities, where we think it's headed. So yeah, if you're a fan of WWE and you'd like to chat about it, get into the comments, and this will be converted into a podcast, which will go live on Apple, Spotify, Audible, anywhere you get your podcast. So get in the comments, ask us questions, give us your thoughts and opinions, and be part of the show. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you very much, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified. And if you're watching us on Facebook, please make sure you give our page a follow. And if you're watching us on TikTok, make sure you give us a follow as well. We are also a WWE affiliate, so if you are going to be getting any WWE merchandise, please make sure you hit that QR code up in the corner. And I think it reverses the camera, so sometimes it's up here, sometimes it's up here. So I'm going to point to both corners, get that QR code, and that will get you to our affiliate link, and that will support the show. Right, gentlemen, where shall we start? Okay, for me, the one place that I want to start is the events that took place on SmackDown. Sami Zayn versus Carmelo Hayes. So this was an open challenge, and unfortunately, this is the way I feel. Trick Williams caused a distraction, attempted to hit Sami Zayn in the climax of the United States Championship match. Sami ducked out of the way. Trick connected with Carmelo Hayes. Sami capitalized on this opportunity, hit a haluva kick, pinned him 1, 2, 3, and we have a new United States champion. This didn't go down well with me at all. I'm a big fan of Carmelo Hayes, and I think he should have had a spot at WrestleMania. I don't know if this means he's not going to be there, but looking at the card now, it's pretty stacked. I'm not sure if there's any room for him now. Sami versus Trick, it didn't need a title on the line. It could have just been a pure grudge match. But yeah, it's happened. Sami's your champion again. Brido, what are your thoughts?
I'm really not a fan of Sami Zayn. I never have been. I don't disagree. The man is a very talented wrestler. It just doesn't click with me. Sami Zayn's had multiple chances. He's had WrestleMania events with Kevin Owens in the tag scene against the Usos. Multiple world title matches is going back a month or so ago against Drew McIntyre. Yes, it was a squash, but he's still in a title match on like kind of PLE.
Yep.
That US title didn't need Sami Zayn brought into it, in my opinion. I don't hate the guy. I just don't see what this adds to what Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov have been doing for the last kind of few months, if not longer.
Yeah.
I don't see what it adds. Sami Zayn, giving Sami Zayn a US title just now, I don't see the merit in it, anything in it at all. Listen, I'm no expert. I can only give my opinion on it, but I just thought it made no sense to me. Nobody was clamoring for Sami to get a title put on him, even if it's a transitional thing. What does it add to the actual whole thing that's going on?
Yep.
Trick Williams didn't need a Sami Zayn for WrestleMania. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure Trick Williams against Carmelo Hayes would have tore the roof down. Honestly,
100%.
Absolutely unreal. Could they still add Melo to the mix? I don't know. The more I see the graphic and things like that, I know graphics can change and things like that, but for me, made no sense. I'm not going to get help about it. It's not going to ruin my WrestleMania, but it's going to be something that I'm going to be looking at the phone probably during, rather than let's face it, guys, WrestleMania is going to be a long kind of slog over 2 nights.
It is.
Even if it's fantastic, it's still a long time for us UK fans. So, yeah, I think this will be one that I kind of glance over at for a wee bit.
Yeah. 100%.
For me, I'm not with it.
No, 100%. Lee, what were your thoughts?
Can't really say much more than what you two have said. I agree. Wouldn't shock me if he got made a triple threat because of the potential backlash that's happened. And we haven't really got. I know a few podcasts ago we were talking about every other match was a multi-person match, wasn't it? I don't think we got that many on the actual card at the minute.
No, not as many as we thought we might, especially when we thought the main title picture might have been a triple threat or a fatal 4-way. We'll come on some of the other matches later, but the women's tag match, intercontinental match, they're going to be multi-person matches. Why not the US Championship? You know, so if you have this open challenge every week and all these people vying for it, that kind of would speak to it. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Dream booking, I'd have had Sammy. Because don't sleep on Sammy and Mello. Sammy and Trick. That will be a good match. That will be a cracker of a match. I just think dream booking, I would have had Mello come out and do a WrestleMania open challenge, and then we maybe got a surprise name come out.
For me, Lee, it's not the actual standard of the wrestlers in the match. I don't see where this match is. I'm not invested in the match. I have no real kind of, I wouldn't say no emotional thing, but I have no real kind of vested interest in what happens here because it's came from nowhere. It's not. I like a story. I love good wrestling, but I do like a story. I need to know why the guys are actually fighting each other, not for just this is my belt. I want that belt. I need a build. It's not like other forms of entertainment. It's not like other things where titles are on the line. It's wrestling, and for me, this just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, exactly. Strange decisions. Yeah, I mean, we do have a couple of weeks to go to dismiss. I mean, Mello will also be having match of the night pretty much every week as well, you know, so it's not like there's dull matches. He is over with the crowd. There is room to change this, and hopefully they do, because I think it's right by him. You know, Ilya, you know, he was off for a long period of time. He was injured. He came back, won the championship. You know, if he misses WrestleMania this year, it's not the worst thing, but I think how Mello has been stepping up and kind of running with it and holding that title really well for several months, he deserves his spot at WrestleMania. So if he misses out, I think that's a big L for WWE. Right, let's move on to, this is what I want to talk about, Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi. Brock came out looking like an absolute beast that he is. Heyman the mouthpiece. But what I liked here was like, Brock was like, enough of the talk, get out here, come face me. Adam Pearce comes out and he's like, no, this isn't going to happen, don't want you two interfering. Oba's like, yeah, don't worry about that, I want to see this guy face to face. The crowd, the way they pop for Oba, he is so over. Each week I feel like he's getting louder and louder, and they just keep cheering. It's absolutely insane. So absolutely loving that. And again, security, my big bane of WWE, security, absolutely getting taken out by Oba. No repercussions, of course. It'll be absolutely fine. Hey, it's part of the job for these guys. And they had to bring the big guns out and have Triple H come out and stand in between the two to make sure they don't lay their hands on each other. This is such a simple build, but it's just working for me. And I think, yeah, don't let them. You almost feel like Brock needs a little bit of a one-up on Oba Femi before to try and balance it a little bit, because Oba's, you know, come out on top a couple of times now. This time there wasn't anything happening. Even if it's a sneak attack or something, Brock needs a little bit over to show, because what I don't want is Oba to be completely dominant. Do you know what I mean? It might be a hell of a match, but I don't want him going in looking more like the favorite, if you know what I mean. I want it to be a little bit more balanced. But yeah, Lee, how did you find this promo went down?
Brilliant. Firstly, it was fantastic to see the greatest of all time back on the screen, splitting up. For those that don't know, for those that do, I'm a huge Triple H fan. So yeah, it was, anytime that man's on my screen, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. I do love the build. I am nervous, Ken. I am nervous that he's going to get all the way to Mania with all the momentum and Brock's going to go over.
I know.
I think this match, I said it before, I think this match is a year too early. I just would have liked to have seen a really dominant Oba before.
Smash through the roster a little bit more. Yeah.
Before getting thrown about. Because Brock is going to get some offense in, and he is going to toss them about. And yeah.
I mean, unless we have a complete squash match and they get in the ring and it lasts like 2 minutes.
Brock's done that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's you know, he did it for Goldberg. So, and he dropped the title for him. So who's to say that that's not going to happen here? So it's quite possible. Friday, you've been warming up to Oba Femi week on week, haven't you? How are you feeling about this match?
Love the man, honestly. And it's meaty. It's two big meat men smashing in wrestling. But you know what I mean? It's so simple. We don't need 5-10 minute long promos where we talk about each other's dead parents and things like that. We don't need to be bringing in our cousins or our wife or somebody else.
Yeah.
We have two massive monsters. One of the biggest names that's been around the last kind of 2 decades. A champion who at times has been unbeatable against a monster who's coming from NXT, who in similar vein, although a short kind of period, was the kind of monster in NXT and seemed unbeatable at times.
Yeah.
It's just so simple, and it's that, like you say, that pop for Oba. And when he picked up the pure security guard that he launched in the ramp.
Oh yes.
And yeah, I know I'm sorry, Lee. I know I'm not the biggest Triple H fan, right? But even he's got the kind of authority figure, the character himself, when he comes on screen. Like you say, it's the big guns. He's coming in, and there was a few F-bombs in there as well.
There was by Brock. Yeah.
He's getting in there. So I love it. It's probably it's so hard to say this, but it's probably overtaken Punk Roman for me for the match that I'm looking forward to most of the weekend. It may be the shortest match. It may not be the greatest match, but I guarantee you I love every minute of it.
I 100% agree with that. It is the match that I'm waiting for. That's actually got me more excited than anything else. You know, the other matches are going to go for a 20-minute back and forth, and we'll do our predictions closer to the time. But this one, you just don't know how it's going to go down. Like I say, it could be 2 minutes, it could be a 10 minutes. I can't see it being more than 10, 15-minute match, but it's just how is it going to go down? This is probably in a strange sense, you'd think Oba should be the one that's going over. But part of me is like, this is almost like the most unpredictable match because of who Brock is. And, so and there's just that feeling, isn't there? It's just so, yeah, but absolutely phenomenal. And like I said, Triple H being that kind of final line, I did like that. I thought that was a good take, and obviously for the crowd it's disappointing. They want to see the guys through hands, but when you're watching at home, this was the right take. This is the way you want to make it happen.
There was one bit in the segment that made me laugh, and I shouldn't be laughing when Brock Lesnar and Oba are about to rip each other apart, and that was when Brock had the steps. And it was like,
it's threatening.
He should have lobbed the man, to be honest. That would have been incredible. But he looked like a bit of he reminded me of my 2-year-old sometimes. She just stands there with her toy, and I'm like, are you going to lob that, or are you going to put it back?
Think about it. Yeah, exactly. Because you almost think like, he obviously respects Triple H in the position he's in, but he's also been that guy who's like, I don't give a damn who you are. So yeah, part of me surprised, but I think we know that Triple H can't take those bumps, and I think potentially having still steps thrown at him was maybe a little bit too far. But great match build, and this continues to be fantastic. Right, we have new tag team champions. World Tag Team Champions. It was Logan Paul and Austin Theory versus the Usos. The Usos came out to a new song. How are we feeling about it?
Meh. I quite prefer Jay's old one.
Yeah. I know they wanted to have Jay have his song on the Usos, a different one, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's one that will probably grow on us a little bit more, but but I think having the new intro and that kind of threw me, because I thought, oh, new intro, there's no way they're gonna lose. And that's exactly what happened. So it was a street fight. Logan Paul and Austin Theory, they took some bumps, especially with those kendo sticks against the trash cans they had over their heads. The Usos weren't holding back on those. They were really laying into it. So props to them. But Logan Paul, his mum was ringside. He went down there, tried to get the brass knuckles. It looked like he was trying to be sneaky about it, but it's like, this is a street fight. It's absolutely fine. But then LA Knight got involved, who was obviously ringside giving commentary. He stopped Logan Paul from getting him. But then as he's taking Logan Paul away from the barrier, he drags IShowSpeed out and over the barrier. IShowSpeed picks up the brass knuckles and accidentally hits LA Knight, taking him out. He props the brass knuckles up on the side on the ring apron, allowing them to be picked up by, it was Austin, wasn't it? He picked him up, and then he hit Jimmy and knocked him out, and then they picked up the win. So Yeah, didn't see this coming. I mean, I've never known so many title changes before WrestleMania, and we've just had another one. Is it a rematch that we get at WrestleMania, or the tag? Are we doing something else with the tag champions? It's very, very unpredictable at the moment. But Brino, were you expecting this change of title?
I'm going to be honest. I actually did. But not until Monday morning. Monday morning. I was reading a lot of reports and they were kind of saying this. Now, I'm not very good with predictions, but the more I read it, I just thought they probably need it. The Vision probably need it more. Well, they do definitely need it more than Usos.
Yeah. I think it was the right decision. And like I said, I predicted last week, I thought it was going to happen. But when they had the new intro, I was like, oh, okay, maybe not. Because there was a lot of rumors going around that potentially they were going to lose them last week. But then the Usos were appearing on the baseball launch on Netflix.
Right.
And they wanted them to be champions at the baseball launch because they were making that appearance. So they delayed it a week and then had it at the Garden. So, yeah, and that's obviously kind of played out somewhat. So, so where do they go from here, Brado?
The only thing I was really thinking was, obviously LA Knight's involved here now. What can they do in terms of, do they run back another tag match and we're now going to have a third tag match between the two teams, or do they make it a kind of 6-man with a novelty?
Yes.
So you're getting LA Knight, but then I was thinking, would it be it would seem possibly a bit overkill to do it this way. I think he should come back in another form, but Braun Breaker possibly coming back. But then I was thinking that may be overkill. Braun's bigger than I'd just been added to a 6-man tag. But then I was also thinking coming back, doing a minimal amount, would that be the ideal time? Just get him a pop, he comes back out, he does a minimal bit in a 6-man tag and then eases his way back in, possibly getting a bit more recovery in before he comes back properly. I don't know. I'm probably overthinking it, but I definitely think now it will be 6-man. I just don't know what they do with the Vision.
Maybe a Sideshow Speed. Maybe they have that celebrity spot filled by him. The Vision were taking him out. They were going to be looking after him. Maybe LA Knight comes back next week on Raw and was like, I want Sideshow Speed. He knocked me out. Because there's 2 weeks in a row he's appeared. So like Mr. Jelly Roll, I think he might be around again next week. So we all have to wait and see. Lee, do you see a 3 versus 3 at WrestleMania?
Yeah, 6-man tag.
It's the only way of getting LA Knight on the card as well, right?
Yeah, it's too late now to. I think this is the final week, as we found out, where you can really, if someone's not got a match, they can initiate a program. Yeah, LA Knight probably tag with the Usos against Speed, Theory, and Paul. It's not a bad match. I must admit, I was listening last week. I thought Tom Brady might be.
Yes.
I could see. I did think the Vision would win. But I thought it might have been LA Knight and Tom Brady versus Paul and Theory. God, they're so forgettable, aren't they? It was a good match, though. It was a good match. It's just I am over the Vision a little bit.
I understand that. Yeah, no, I get that. Right, well, we'll have to see what happens next week. But do we get pre-shows anymore? I can't remember if we get the pre-show. I don't think we do.
Don't think so, no, because the Battle Royal is always on SmackDown now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on the SmackDown before.
I'm sure we get something on YouTube, but it's not in the same mold as it was on the network. You don't get like matches. It's very rare. I'm sure it's Big E and Kathy.
Yeah.
Big E, and usually you have possibly the King or somebody else on.
Booker.
Booker. They don't have any matches or anything like that.
No, they have that podcaster as well, don't they? The bald guy with the beard.
Yeah, that's right.
That's his name.
Oh, that escapes me. Right, it's been new World Tag Team Champions. Right, so let's move on. I'm just going to touch on this briefly because I don't think this did much for me this week. CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Roman came out, started to talk. Punk came out. They had a bit of fisticuffs, and then Punk threw him through the table. It's the same. Is that 4 weeks in a row now? I think they've ended the show, and this bored the hell out of me. I didn't think it was the right way to finish the show. I think that they could have done that earlier in the night. I know it's the big main event of one of the nights, which is why it kind of goes on last. But if you'd put like Brock and Ober at the end of the show, that would have been much more impactful than this. I know they can't keep having war of words because I think they're running out of things to say as well. But yeah, I just, maybe you don't need to focus on it every week. But I think also they're having to do that because ticket sales aren't that great. And I think they're having to keep pushing and making sure that people know that this is one of the big matches of the night. Yeah, Lee, how did this fall for you?
You could honestly just put on any Raw, couldn't you? And just it's the same segment at the end. You're like, oh, am I watching last week's by mistake? Like,
Yeah.
I've got one question, one very, very important question.
Mm-hmm.
Where does Roman Reigns buy his washing powder? Because those t-shirts are bright white. They are lush white. I need some of that. I'm a fan of a white t-shirt.
Yeah, you do like your white, don't you?
I do, yeah.
I think you'll probably find it's a brand new tee every week.
Yeah. How the other half live, man.
I know. But he makes it look good. That skin tone. He makes that white t-shirt look so good. White is great on him. I actually love him in white. But yes, CM Punk was kind of doing a little bit of maniacal, crazy stuff. There was actually, I don't know if you've seen it on TikTok, I reposted it, but there's a fan view where, so the fan in front of Punk was saying, "You suck," and giving him abuse. And Punk was effing and blinding at him back and stuff like that. I think it was off air, obviously, at this point. But he gave no shits. It's a live crowd. And yeah, so if you haven't seen that, go on, look at CM Punk shouting at fan Madison Square Garden Raw. Absolutely hilarious. Right, let's move on. That is what it is. What should we talk about? Randy Orton. So obviously he was on SmackDown and just destroyed Matt Cardona. Who knows what he's thinking, but he's having his bit to play on the build up to WrestleMania, and then Cody came out and they had a brawl, which was fine. It is what it is. It's one of those, get them into each corner and then they keep launching themselves at each other, and it doesn't matter if you have 10 people holding you back, you manage to get through, kind of thing. It is what it is. But then Cody appeared on Raw and Stephanie McMahon came out. And she had a few words to say. She wanted to let Cody know, because obviously they were of families of generations through wrestling. They're very familiar with each other. And she said, this version of Cody Rhodes can't beat this version we currently have of Randy Orton. Steph said that Dusty Rhodes could get down and dirty with the best of them when he needed to. Especially when he knew what it would take, depending on the opponent. But she hasn't seen that in Cody, and he's not his father. And Cody said to Steph, well, like her, she's not like her father, which gave Cody a slap. And I just thought, surely you don't want to be like your father. I didn't understand why that was an insult to me. You're not your father either. Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't abuse people. So I don't know. But obviously it's still the McMahon name, and yeah, I wasn't particularly a huge fan of the segment. I saw on the chat that some of you guys were. So, Brino, how did you feel about this segment?
It seems like they're trying to force. I like Cody Rhodes. I like a true babyface. There's not many of them about anymore. There's always these bloodlines like Punk and Roman. It seems a bit like they're just trying to force a bit of kind of fan push behind Cody, which isn't really going to work. You know what happens when Triple H and that some of the kind of creative try to force it down their throats. The fan base push back even harder. So for me, it seemed a little bit forced. I pretty much knew right away as soon as Stephanie said the line about Dusty, I knew he was coming back with the Vince McMahon. And if I'm seeing this, everybody's seeing it. Right? It's, for me, it just seemed out of place. Again, if anything, Raw doesn't need a Cody Rhodes on that show. SmackDown needs some help over the other show for maybe some of the Raw.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's Madison Square Garden. They had and that was it.
Yeah,
but
it just, for me, it didn't enhance what was going on between Randy and Cody. Again, the silly back and forward thing where I jump and you again, the security and things like that we've seen time and time again. It doesn't really add much. You would be much better with that. Not that they could do it twice, but again, to hark back to the Brock Ober thing where Triple H is the authority, comes in as the only one that kind of stopped them. That's a great way to do that. A simple way to do it. Cody Randy seems to be trying to complicate things to make it better, and it just seems to be getting worse. It's not a match I'm not looking forward to, but for me, again, this added nothing to the feud. A bit like Punk and Roman, that didn't add anything either.
Yes. The SmackDown Brawl was the most Cody Rhodes segment ever. I find Cody Rhodes so gratuitous in that he has to do everything. He has to have the long walk to the arena, and then he has to be the badass. And then the brawl was shit. The brawl was just it was pathetic. It was like and like, oh, it was rubbish. It was you think back to like Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker, when they were brawling on the road to Mania, and it was beautiful. This was again, it was just a Cody Rhodes segment. Unlike you, Brido, I am not a Cody Rhodes fan at all. I find him so self-indulgent and just. I get it. He's your QB1. You want him on your shows. You want him in your big spots, but he doesn't have to do everything all the time. Drives me nuts.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. That kind of way, there could be a bit of variation in it. I look at it more like case that Cody's probably not aimed at me. Cody's probably not at, certainly macking it. I don't know who's aimed at me on that roster, to be honest. But I hope it's Blake Monroe, but whatever. But no, I look at it like more like Cody's maybe not being put out there for my enjoyment. But then it comes to WrestleMania where they're trying to draw everybody in, and now they need to keep drawing everybody in, especially with the ticket sales and the pricing that they are charging. So I understand Cody's place on there. Would I like to see him maybe turn heels? Yeah, I would probably think he would be a really, really good heel. I think it would be far more interesting for me, but I understand that Cody's maybe not on that show for my kind of age range at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
He's obviously over. The pops are there.
Yeah, he still gets the pops. Yeah, he does. And I think Cody will come eventually, but I think it's just too soon to the Cena one, and he'll be compared to it too much. So, until they have that big other baby face that can carry the mantle while he's heel, we are kind of stuck with Cody as is. I just want to see them build up in a slightly different way, because again, like we said with Punk and Roman, it's the same thing every week. I mean, it's a little bit old fashioned, but I like something, when they used to do the interviews with a split screen, and have them in separate rooms and stuff like that. And, have them talk to each other like that sometimes, it's like separation before you have the face to face, because they've come out face to face so early on, all of them. Where do you go? And that's the problem now. It's like, where do you take it? If they'd had slower builds and had like interviews, or them backstage being interviewed by Michael Cole or something like that, how they feel about it, and slowly build it, I think we'd be in a position now in the next couple of weeks where it's like, yeah, you can then get hands-on and stuff like that. But it just seems like it's maybe peaked too early, because we've still got 3 weeks really to WrestleMania. So
Jen, and the prime example is WrestleMania 17. Stone Cold and The Rock, they had them backstage, and they had actually both of them speaking, and it gives them the chance that it's not a live crowd. They can pre-record it and get something really, really sweet between them. Get something that with that Austin line where he was like, "I've got to beat you, Rock. I've got to beat you," and things like that. Yes, it came with a heel turn and maybe not made sense, but maybe didn't work out well. But it just it gives them something to pre-record, get absolutely right, without any kind of, well, you could have a little bit of kind of physical altercation during that as well, and you could pre-record it to make it look decent. Again, there's ways to build, much like we're talking about that Oba Brock thing. There's ways to do it, and I just don't think this was done right.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. What are we going to talk about next? Let's Randy Orton. So he's kind of confirmed that he is speaking to somebody else. So part of it is like, is he speaking to like a different version of him? Is it the voices in his head? But he's spoken now. I'm speaking to somebody on the outside. Any thoughts about who this might be? Because I haven't got a clue.
I can tell you. Yeah.
No,
is this the new mystery of WWE, isn't it? It's like, you always have to have a running mystery. But I don't see it being anyone from like Evolution. You know, it's not a Batista, it's not a Ric Flair, Triple H. So I don't know who else is in the locker room. Ted DiBiase, it's not.
No.
So everything that's going on there. So it's like, who is he speaking to?
Again, I think with the suggestion that it's maybe just Randy's having voices in his head and that kind of way to kind of really, I don't know how they work this match, but I mean I love heel Randy. I don't want to be negative about this match. It does look like it'll be decent. It's maybe my kind of negative sides on some of the build. I'm not. I don't want to be negative about Mania and things like that. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm just thinking maybe they will do a kind of cop out with just saying it's the voices and Randy does something, maybe bring back the punt and things like that. Something in that regard, and the voices told me to do that, and we get real proper, like full on. I know he's in it with Cody and a bit to Matt just now, Matt Cardona and things like that, but it could maybe be doing it to a proper like loved babyface or something like that. I mean, can you imagine he turns up and destroys Penta one week, or just destroys somebody like of that mold or something like that? Somebody who's really like kind of somebody would be like over a little bit more over, but I don't know. I don't see it being again any of Evolution. I think that I don't really see what Dave Batista's not coming back, and what were they going to do? Roll at Ric Flair? Maybe honestly, it'd be like when Stephanie brought Linda McMahon out in the wheelchair at 17 again. Just did waste of time. Say it's the voices and let Randy go nuts.
I think it's most likely the voices. I'd like it. I read a Bleacher Report that they were sort of, could it be Charlotte Flair? I thought that's an interesting idea, but probably not. I wouldn't be surprised to see someone walk down the ramp at Mania, as Randy's maybe on the verge of losing. Paul Heyman. I don't think it will be Heyman, but Heyman comes down the ramp.
Is there anyone from is there anyone from Cody's past that could come back to haunt him? Not that I can think of.
No.
Can't
think of anyone.
I mean, Dustin's obviously under contract.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments, guys, if you got any ideas about who you think Randy was talking to on the phone. Get in the comments, let us know your thoughts.
Jericho makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
Edge would have been great if Edge wasn't under contract.
That's what I mean. There's just very few people out there where you think that's a possibility. It could be Joe Henry. Who knows? Right, let's talk about the Intercontinental Championship match. We have Penta versus Kofi Kingston. Really solid match.
Great match.
But you know, Penta came out on top. A Mexican Destroyer. He gave one to Grayson Waller on the outside, and he did one off the top rope to Kofi to finish off the match. It was very close when Kofi hit that Trouble in Paradise. I was like, ooh. There was a moment, but yeah, if they changed that title before WrestleMania, I would have lost my shit. But Penta announced that he went to Adam Pearce and he says, you know, he wants to defend against everybody. So we have a ladder match. But the contestants really surprised me. So first off is Javon Evans. Totally get that. Ladder match is going to be great. He's been talking about going for the title. Dragon Lee, 100%. He's had an amazing match with Penta recently. He's absolutely on form. JD McDonough. Where has this come from? Do you know, have I missed a build up to this?
Did you see they said that they've had qualifier matches on main event?
Did they?
Yeah. Main event. Yeah, they said these are the qualifier matches. So I think I saw who JD McDonough had beat. He'd beaten Grayson Waller, I think. Rusev had beaten someone.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So apparently these have been qualifier matches that have been taking place before the announcement, but
I'd never heard that either.
Yeah.
Wait, is this on Speed or something? Where are these matches been?
On main event, and is there a YouTube channel as well?
When they do their YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, there we go. So I've learned something new today. Because the other one is Rusev. And the last I saw of him, he got beat up by Oba. So again, to me, it was just like I had no idea these crossfires took place because it's like they literally announced the match and then all the participants. So I was like, okay. So okay.
I think there's a few more to come into that match. It doesn't look complete, does it?
It doesn't. That doesn't look right. Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, and Rusev, 5. There seems like there should be room for somebody else. That doesn't doesn't sit right for me. But yeah, so thoughts on this match?
I think it'll be good. This is where a random kind of build actually works when you've got like a ladder match and things like that for the title. This is what in stark contrast to the Sammy one where it's Sammy Trick, where we've just randomly inserted the US title into it.
Mm-hmm.
It only works now because we've got this stipulation with the ladder match, and obviously now finding out Lee letting us all know about the qualifying matches that we hadn't heard of. But yeah, I mean, you could have half the competitors here in this match, and the talent will put on a show. This is what we need. We need something like this. We needed a kind of like kind of gimmick match like this. Last year we were kind of robbed of it when we didn't have the SmackDown tag teams doing it. We got it on SmackDown soon after. We're going to get this one: Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee. The first three right away. You're like, it's going to be unreal. I can't wait to see what they do. I mean, it's never going to be something random, and there's going to be a Mexican destroyer off about 3 ladders, through 2 ladders, and table, and probably JD McDonough through him as well. I'm really looking forward to it. It was badly needed to put on the kind of card for me, because there aren't a lot of kind of stipulations other than the unsanctioned match kind of rule that I don't get. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Great competitors, no matter what kind of how they've got into it. So yeah, it's thumbs up for me.
Yeah. I mean, I would have rather, I mean, we don't know if we're getting this yet, but I would have rather them had the El Grande Americanos get their stuff out of the way before Mania, and then Chad Gable come back as Chad Gable, as they have been off, I'm back now, and Luca Kaiser came in the match. I have both of them in the Intercontinental title picture, because I think having those two in that match would be fantastic. I just think we've seen enough of them fighting each other already, and that whole thing going on. So it's not something I want to see at WrestleMania now, because we've had the build up over so many weeks. But maybe there's still room for it. I don't know. So Lee, what are your thoughts on this match?
Yes, same. I think it looks good. It'd be a great fun match. It'd be an absolute spot fest. It'd be lovely, and that's what Mania needs. One of the most beloved Manias, 17, has that hardcore match, and that is just a spot fest. And that was thrown on the card about a week before, wasn't it? It was just like nothing. So no, it'll be good. That's what Mania is about, fun matches. I would like to see a couple more in there. Chad Gable's a great shout. Would love to see Chad in there.
Definitely.
And win it.
That would be amazing.
As I say, I don't really know who else I'd put in there.
The Raw roster is actually not that long these days, especially with all the injuries and stuff like that. So, because you'd imagine like a Bronson Reed or something would be in there, some of the Xavier Woods or whatever it may be. But I think they're quite thin on the ground actually. So when you actually look at the talent that could be going for that match, so yeah, I think if we can get Chad Gable in there and El Grande both in there, I think it'd be great. I don't want both the El Grandes in there. But this could be a chance for an upset, because it's an opportunity for Penta losing without taking the L. Or a pin. So it is an opportunity for, if they want to push a Rusev or a Dragon Lee or something like that, because of the respect Dragon Lee and Penta have with each other. Javon Evans is not impossible. He is quite hot, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was an opportunity for him at WrestleMania to take that belt again, meaning that Penta doesn't take a pinfall. So
I can't wait to see where this cutter comes from. The cutters
cut off the ladder, right? Yeah, that's going to be something. Right, so Brado mentioned this unsanctioned match. So SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis declared that Jacob Fatu will battle Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match at WrestleMania. Basically, it's a no DQ, but with WWE not taking any liability for one another. It works for me because of the way that they've been attacking each other. They fell off the scaffolding and they've been doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So this makes sense. It's a good old-fashioned grudge match. No issues with this. I still would have maybe liked the Fatal 4-Way. I think that would have been really interesting. But we're at where we're at. So I'm fine for this match. Lee?
Yeah, same. As long as we don't. I hope they take it out the building a little bit and through the back, and kind of like what they've been doing with the brawls. Like that would be more fun than just a table spot in the ring and a few kendo shots. But no, it'll be fantastic, wouldn't it? I could see Jacob going over
Yeah.
in June.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Jacob will go over. I think it'll be a great match. Again, I'm like you, Lee. I'm hoping they'll take this well outside into the back and do something crazy. It's probably set up pretty well for Jacob to go over Drew to get possibly thrown off something, and that we write him off screen for a while so he can go do Highlander.
Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Or I don't see Drew walking away from this one on screen, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So it's also a kind of one where it's not going to, with it being, if they do a little bit more gimmicky backstage, it's not going to damage either of their kind of runs just now, especially with the kind of crowd the way it is. Everybody kind of gets Drew's kind of heel online thing and all that kind of stuff he does. Jacob's loved, the crowd love him. He gets a great reaction. They're both good workers. I think this will be a kind of, I think it will, again, it will pass the time quite quick. I don't see it going that long. But yeah, it's something I'm looking forward to, this one. So yeah, again, I'm okay with this one. I'm more positive about that.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think it'll be a fantastic match. We'll just pop over to the comments. Jazzbot to Jason, long-time viewer, first-time commentator. Given the geopolitical landscape, should the WWE bring back the character, the Iron Sheik? You know what? If Vince was in charge, I guarantee you would have had the son of the Iron Sheik by now. It would absolutely be something that he'd be running, given everything that's going on, and he'd have it'd probably be Cody Rhodes versus the Iron Sheik at WrestleMania with the All-American overturning him. So yeah, I can absolutely see that being something that happened in a different era. And Alex Van Geen Racing, thank you very much. Say hi, Alex. We're missing you on the show today. Sorry you could not make it. Right, let's move on. So we had Paul Heyman's again getting loads of screen time, which is great. No issues with that at all. So he came out, and Adam Pearce was going banging on all night about him checking his emails. So apparently there was a restraining order in place. Seth broke that and hit Heyman, but they've dropped all charges without them letting Heyman know. Seth comes out and beats up an old man again. I don't understand that. It's like, okay. And then Gunther comes out to attack Seth Rollins. So they finally made their decision of where this is going to go. Confirmation that obviously Bron Breakker is not going to be there, but this is a match that will work. I think the only surprise here was that Heyman wasn't aware of Gunther's involvement. I wondered whether that was going to be a bit of master plan from him to have Gunther come in and do the rescue or whatever it is. But it looks like Gunther's going off his own accord. He wants a match at WrestleMania. Seth is back. He probably sees him as a big target, and that's the only reason he wants him. Looks like Gunther took a bit of a swipe during the brawl as well. So he got busted open and wiped his blood over Seth, and we are here. So how do we feel about Gunther versus Seth Rollins?
I am all for it. Match will be incredible. I hope they get the story right, because, yep, I totally agree. And I think we'll find out in the next few weeks why.
Yeah.
I read a great theory this evening. A great theory. The Gunther is going to make a deal with Heyman to say, basically, I'm going to keep you safe. I'm going to look after you. Take this guy out, and you're going to owe me something. And you're going to owe me a match with Brock at SummerSlam to add another career to the list.
Interesting.
And I was like, yes, please. Yes, please. Trips, book that.
Yeah, no, I can dig that. I like that. Yeah, because Brock doesn't seem to care about Seth Rollins for protecting Heyman at all, does he? So he's not like, yeah, both of you run me up, I'm leaving the building. You're on your own. So yeah, interesting there. But Brian, how do you feel about Gunther versus Seth?
I didn't see it coming. I really didn't. I was racking my brain for who Gunther would go up against. I think it was going to be Ray until the injury. I think
that a lot is what people are thinking. Yeah.
I still think they may revisit that at some point. Although they are talking that will Ray ever come back now? I don't see a world where that's the end of Rey Mysterio just now. so they may revisit it eventually. I didn't see it coming. I'm not unhappy with it. It's again how they work this next kind of short period before the match and how it fits in. The Paul Heyman Fager thing is interesting, and he has done the Fager thing before and things like that. So yeah, it will be a good match. The two guys are so talented. So I mean, they could wrestle a paper bag, the two of them, and it'd be great. It's something that just, it's not the in-ring work we need to worry about here. It's how they build this. Whether they're going to incorporate Paul Heyman and such in any kind of way in the vision and things like that, or is it just going to be Gunther on his own accord saying, no, I wanted the match and you were the one that was left. So, and the most suitable name that was left. Yeah, they'll have an absolute banger between the two of them, and again, just hope they build it properly.
Yeah, I mean, we won't go into too many predictions now, but do we think that Gunther will go over this year? Because obviously he lost to Jay last year. So for me, I feel like it should be if they're going to continue this run. Because if he's retiring all these people and then comes up against Seth and falls short, where do you go with that? Do you know what I mean? So
I think Gunther will go over. I just don't think it will be clean.
Yeah.
I think there'll be many folk that we could see getting involved in this. Even I know we're talking that possibly Braun not being there, in a kind of wrestling capacity, proper capacity, but even causing a distraction. He doesn't actually have to get physically involved. It could just be like his music could go off and you see him on the kind of up at the entrance and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see Gunther coming out on top. He kind of needs a kind of one like this. Your main thinking of Gunther now is losing to Jay, losing to Sammy and things like that. And yeah, probably needs this kind of Mania one.
Yeah. As I said, I don't get it. It'll be a good match, but I don't get why. Yeah, so I think we just need to understand the why now, and I think that's where they need to give us the story next week of why Gunther has selected Roman Seth for the match. He's obviously aiming for a caliber of wrestler, somebody who's worthy of him, but then you're kind of putting Seth on a pedestal if he's saying, I think you're worthy of me, kind of thing. So we'll have to see how they go with it. Okay, moving on. So we had, let's talk about the Women's Tag Team Championship. So we had Nikki and Brie Bella versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss on SmackDown. That ended up it was a DQ, wasn't it? Because obviously Lash Legend and everybody got involved in that match. So Lash Legend hit Alexa Bliss through the ropes, which allowed Brie to pick up a win. Then we had the Tag Team Championship match on Raw, which was the Irresistible Forces versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. And again, ended up in a disqualification. The Irresistible Forces going over because Charlotte came in and hit them after the outside shenanigans. All of this has just led to a fatal four-way at WrestleMania. So, this is one that we did predict for quite a while. It's going to be a multi-person match. I'm disappointed it's not more. I would have liked it to maybe have been this spin the ladder match and have it sort of like 6 teams or something like that. So to get Asuka and Kyrie maybe in there or something like that. But obviously with Rhea and Io splitting up, we don't know where that's going to go. I mean, Io's looking like it's going to struggle to get on the card at the moment. But how are we feeling about the tag division? Is the Bella... Unfortunately, I think the Bella Twins have taken a spot because of who they are. Not because I think they're the right fit at the moment. But I think the tag team division's kind of gotten a little sloppy over the last couple of weeks. I think it was really, really strong. But now it's just, again, that build up to WrestleMania. It's just kind of sloppy finishes, interferences all the time, and I guess is a way of protecting everyone, so there's very few clean wins. But how are we feeling about the tag division in this match? Brad, I'll come to you first.
I probably think it kind of needs this. Again, I would agree with you with, I would like a bit more involved in it, mainly because I think the tag division for the females needs a bit of a reset. So post-Mania it can kind of restart a bit more and we can get something going, and those that aren't going to be involved in it, be that a Charlotte or any other one, that may go on a singles run, they can kind of move on for that, and we can get back to possibly the other ones that are doing the tag team wrestling. I'm very vocal that I don't really like the Bellas because I don't like Divas wrestling. It's something that I just don't enjoy. I didn't think it added anything to wrestling at all, other than here's some good looking girls. That's it. The girls nowadays are just so far ahead. It's
100%.
not even one level. It's like 10, 15 levels. There's so much talent in women's wrestling nowadays that we don't need matches slowed down for the Bellas. They look like they're wrestling in slow motion. It's poor, and it doesn't enhance any other talent there. I understand there's a fan base for them, but it's not. I'm not that fan base, and again, I understand the whole show isn't catered to me. But I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to give my opinion, and that is that I just don't see why they're there. There's so many other ones that could enhance this match and go on to be bigger stars. So for me, I don't see why they're there. Doesn't take away though that the match should be semi-decent. Could have possibly been well, no, not possibly. It would have been improved by a stipulation like tables or TLC.
Yeah, agreed. Lee, how you feeling about this?
Yeah, same as Friday. I'm not a big lover of the Bellas. I appreciate they brought a new set of eyes to the product back in their heyday, but they're not the nostalgia hit I'm looking for again. They slow everything down, don't they? They really are slow. It breaks my heart that my queen is wrapped up in this. It's gone from the match has gone from one of my most anticipated and looking forward to matches to actually like, okay,
yeah,
probably where I'm going to get the nachos out and just yeah.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, that's a pretty good shout. Right, so Liv Morgan came out to talk about Stephanie Vacquier. Said some nasty things about her mother. She came out for a bit of a beat down, but then we have a returning Roxanne Perez, which I thought was interesting. Judgment Day looked a little bit fragmented this week, so because obviously they didn't seem to be out there for Raquel's match, but then we have Roxanne Perez back, and again, it seems weird how this is all going to fit in. Obviously, they're probably just going to be by ringside to help with the Liv win, but I'm wondering whether now Roxanne's back, we're going to have a little bit more of disjoint between Liv and Raquel post Mania. That's kind of where I see maybe a little bit of a turn happening there, but. Roxanne Perez, I think she's a great athlete, very, very talented wrestler. Again, I'd like to see more of her in the new year. I think, she can come back strong after this injury. Lee, you a fan of Roxanne?
Love her. Yeah. Followed her since NXT days. She's brilliant talent. She's so young as well. She's got barring any serious injuries, she's got a huge career ahead of her.
Yeah.
That was a nice surprise. I thought the whole Liv Stephanie segment was brilliant. It was short, sweet, horrible.
Exactly that.
Loved it.
Yeah, and I think their build-up has been really strong because, again, last week it was just an attack and they brawl and that was it. But again, it's mid-show. It's an initial attack. It goes backstage. It's separated. It's done. It's not the climax of a show. And I think that's what makes a great difference to the build. It's been slowly. But again, that started off with interviews. Do you know what I mean? Nice slow build. And now the last couple of weeks it's gone physical. So I think they've built at the right pace because they've gone about it in the right way. So, yeah. Alex says, I feel like the road to WrestleMania is too long. Yeah.
I was thinking that.
I think that's too. That's probably that's going to hamper things like Punk Roman, who hit the kind of high point and now it seems to taper off.
Yeah. Alex, love Liv. She still gets such a pop. Absolutely, she does.
I've got
my favorite wrestlers.
I've got a theory about Liv and Steph that at Mania, Raquel and Roxanne kind of turn on Liv and Steph turns heel. Stephanie Vacquier turns heel. I think Stephanie Vacquier heel with Roxanne and
new stable.
Raquel would be unreal. I think Liv is getting more and more cheers as the week's gone. She's becoming far more popular with like kind of all the crowd now. For me, she gets when I seen her at the beginning of the year, she got an amazing pop.
Yeah,
and the amount of young girls that love her is. I mean, it's not a surprise. She's fantastic, but I was just thinking maybe Stephanie Vicaire could be a far more kind of formidable heel. Roxanne and Raquel turned on Liv.
Yeah, they could be the mouthpiece. Yeah.
And they turned on that. But yeah, it was just something I was thinking about. I think Stephanie would be a great heel.
Yeah,
I like
not a
that.
bad shout, actually. That's really good. Yeah, because yeah, if you could turn Liv face, absolutely. But one of those, not face, but like the anti-hero face. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that could really work.
It would kind of be like you would just be more sympathetic towards Liv because she'd been turned on. She didn't actually have to do anything to turn kind of face. She would just be the kind of one. She's been wronged here by Raquel and Roxanne, and they went with Stephanie.
Yeah. Agreed.
What would you do with Dom? Because technically Dom's a heel, isn't he?
I was wondering if Dom gets killed by the demons, so we don't see what.
We're just gonna murder Dom. I like it. I like it.
We're talking about retirement matches earlier. I'd actually rather see Dirty Dom retire his dad. Another match there. I would rather that than it be Gunther. I think that would.
Yeah.
I think that would kind of cap that kind of story. I think that would work out really well. So then we had a horrible thing with Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, B-Fab and Meteor. That was a really bad segment. All just chatting over each other, not saying anything. A attempt at a match which just ended poorly. I did not enjoy this segment at all. No. I think the only other person which I can see could have tried to make this a good match would have been Bianca Belair, but I think Ray is doing what she can. I just don't like Jade. I don't like anything she says. She keeps saying the same kind of thing. I mean, Ray does as well, but I can tolerate listening to her more. I just don't like Jade. This is probably my least interested match at WrestleMania. How are you guys feeling about this? We don't have to spend too long on this.
It pains me that Rhea Ripley's in this. It really does. It's far too early for Jade to be in this kind of match. I don't see a lot of improvement, guys.
No.
I've only seen her once in person wrestle, and she kind of messed up a few moves. One of the rope spots, which is everything that she tries looks like a move that's too advanced for her or too far out of her skill set. She's got an incredible look. I think that's it, though. I think that's all she's got. For me, she is the kind of equivalent of when Bobby Roode stepped up. Bobby Roode at that point isn't a bad wrestler, but I'm just talking about in terms of that stage in his career, he was ready to finish, and Bobby Roode was kind of getting by only on the entrance. For Jade, it's just a look. That's all it is. There's nothing of substance under there. The mic work is subpar. The ring work is bang average. The look is 10 out of 10.
Because Neil spoke highly of her in AEW. Now, I've never seen her in AEW, but apparently she was great there. So
she was brilliant.
Why is it not translated over, Lee?
I think Rhea, firstly, is actually a bigger problem in this rivalry than she's getting noticed for. I think there is Rhea fatigue. I think Rhea's been in title matches at Mania for almost all of them, isn't she?
I think it's like 4 or 5 straight years now or something like that. So yeah.
I think I think she's the wrong opponent. Jade has had a rough. I think Jade's been unfortunate. Jade Naomi, Jade Bianca would have been great. Injuries and life has taken that away. I'm not just saying this because I'm a big fan of the woman, but I honestly think Jade versus Charlotte would have been a much more interesting, fresh. None of this "my muscles are bigger than yours" bitch kind of shit that they keep saying. You know, that you could have built on Charlotte's sort of legacy within the organization as to Jade being relatively new, and I actually put a fair bit of blame on Rhea. I just think Rhea fatigue is.
Yeah, that's not a bad point to make. Because she's either in the title picture, she's winning the chamber, or she's tag champ, or so she's always right at the top. And unfortunately, with the biggest stars, you do get that, but sometimes a little step back wouldn't be a bad thing. And I suppose that's kind of like what Charlotte's been doing. She's kind of taken that little step back since last year, and having this relationship working with Alexa, and which that's one surprising. I thought that would have culminated in something at WrestleMania. I didn't see them sticking together all this time.
You could include stories within that as well, couldn't you? That okay, right, Alexa had a shot at Mania and at the Rumble and was eliminated by Charlotte. Then they had the triple threat and Alexa didn't qualify, but Charlotte did, and Alexa helped her. Do you know what I mean? And then she supported her within that chamber, and it's always Alexa supporting Charlotte. And when am I going to get my chance? But yeah, I just Jade is a talent, and I think Jade looks like a champion and should have that belt. Something's not clicking.
Because you don't have to, as a big wrestler, you don't have to have the best movesets. You don't have to be the most gifted in the ring. But for me, she does need to be better on the mic, and maybe it's because of who she's up against. But I'm not sure what's not clicking there. Over on TikTok in the comics, M.I. Craig said really tried to like Jade, but something hasn't landed. In my opinion, totally get that. Kind of on the same page. It's like it should work, but for some reason it's not. Hi Chris, he's joined us on YouTube. Nice to see you. Reggie, Tony Khan. What did he say? Tony Khan and Vince Russo. What's the story there? I'm not familiar with the story. Is there a story? You guys aware of a story?
Tony Khan's gone on to get interviewed by Vince Russo and the coach. Vince Russo, the coach of slated AEW, they do a lot of memes on them and things like that. So yeah, Tony Khan's gone on to get interviewed. I don't know how that's going to go, to be honest.
Don't sound like a good idea.
I'm still not sure it will happen, but there's nothing confirmed of when it is from what I've read. But yeah, I'm not sure I don't know if that will happen, if somebody will maybe say to him, don't. But yeah.
Okay.
I honestly think, I was just thinking then, Jade, a year ago at Elimination Chamber, her return was one of the biggest things.
Oh yes.
I think we gave it moment of the year, didn't we?
I think it was one of them, or one of the OMG moments. Yeah.
I think with that's again. I think if it, again, the bigger wrestlers keep it simple. That there wasn't a lot for her to do in terms of anything complicated for her. And it's again saying that some of the stuff seems like a kind of level above her. Everybody's got a kind of level and skill set of what they can do. I mean, not everybody's an AJ Styles and things like that, but even then, AJ Styles isn't going to do all the power stuff.
No.
So,
that's the thing, because they put her up against Jordynne Grace, and Jordynne Grace looked better. So don't put her up against another powerhouse and then not come out well on top. So put her over on some smaller people, have her smash them, demolish them, make them look strong going into WrestleMania. But yeah, that didn't work. Alex is agreeing with Lee, I think, in terms of the Rhea Ripley stuff, in terms of Rhea fatigue. So yeah, he gets that. All right, let's talk about Raquel Rodriguez and Io Sky. So they had a match. Raquel Rodriguez defeated her because of the distraction from the outside. I'm not sure if this is going to end up something on WrestleMania card, whether we're going to get an Io versus Asuka. I mean, Io Sky was winning the main event of winning the women's championship of WrestleMania last year, or retaining it, but this year nowhere to be seen in and around that picture, or from a tag championship or anything. So what's happened with Io? Triple H loves her, right?
Yeah. I'm sticking with the same story that I've had since these two, Io and Rhea, got together. I know they've kind of split their ways. Io's going to cost Jade the match, and it's going to go on to Jade v Io after WrestleMania.
Really?
Sorry, Rhea. Sorry.
Yeah.
I've said this since the two of them kind of hooked up as a tag team, and then it got that kind of cringy, kind of, oh, I love you, and constantly hugging kind of way.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen anyway. I think it will be Io that costs Jade, possibly by accident, and then Jade turns heel. Sorry, I keep saying Jade. Rhea, sorry. Rhea turns heel. So possibly by accident, and then Rhea turns on Io. Maybe comes down to help in some way. So I'm still going with that. I think Io gets involved in the world title match. That's her kind of part in Mania. I don't see them adding a random other women's match, and not random, but you know what I mean. I don't think they have enough kind of thing to add another match in just now at short notice.
Yeah. And I got a feel for Raquel as well, because I think, you know, she had a great run. She had a fantastic 2026, and she's not going to be on the card, it looks like, a Mania. So I think that's a big miss there. So, and my Craig said the same, Raquel and Io should be a Mania. But yeah, it's hard to see a path for them now, which is a shame. So we'll see. Chris has said, I can't get behind Jade at all. It's not just her in-ring work. She feels like she's missing something. Would have probably done better in NXT for another year or so. Yeah, I mean, I forget that she was in NXT, wasn't she? Didn't
Jade?
she? Yeah.
No, she went straight to the roster.
Oh, did she go straight to the roster?
Yeah.
So that probably would have benefited her, actually, to spend some. Yeah, that's it, because I think she signed for WWE but didn't do much. She didn't make an appearance for a long time, because I think they were trying to get her skill set right to appear, because then she appeared at the Rumble, right?
She debuted there, yeah.
Debuted at the Rumble. And so then again, there's a little bit more time before we saw her again. But actually, she probably would have benefited more time on NXT before hitting the main roster. So yeah, it's a really good shout. Reggie, a new subscriber. Thank you, Reggie. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. If
hit that bell.
Yeah, hit that bell to get notified. We go live every Tuesday at 8:45, Reggie, so join us every week. And you can follow us on TikTok as well. Wrestling is awesome. And we go live there as well. I keep saying this every week. I want to do more and more content on TikTok. It will happen eventually when I can get my life in order. Rhea still hasn't ever beaten Io. Yeah, that is absolute fact. And that has to come back to a storyline again at some point. And it would make sense for it to be a heel Rhea that goes over, as opposed to the very nice version. Chris, I agree with Alex. Road to WrestleMania only needs to be 1 month or less build. Yeah, it does go on far too long. And, you know, we know it starts at the Rumble, but that's only one match. Do you know what I mean? And I think what's happened is, how long has it been Elimination Chamber picks the second champion? Because that forces that second main event a lot quicker than what it needs to be. Because it means that Royal Rumble person has to pick the person prior to that. So I think maybe, you know, for me, I think get rid of that Elimination Chamber winner. Have that as a title match. It always used to be a title match. So have that as a title match. Because again, then the Royal Rumble doesn't know who they're going to go for as champion. When you have two different champions, you've got one, you're like, okay, maybe I'll go for them, but I want to wait to see what happens at the chamber. So I think take that away, and then you don't have to have such a long build up for the two main events, and then everything else can just happen a little bit later. But what you can't do is have the two main events start and then nothing else happen for several weeks, because everyone's like, oh, what's happening at WrestleMania? They've got these two matches and nothing else. So you're setting yourself up for failure and anticipation and expectation. And it's a really long time, over several weeks, to be able to deliver something to keep people's interest at that peak. But yeah, I think a month is more than enough. Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania 42 still has me confused. Yeah, Reggie, I think part of it, I wonder, is ticket sales. I'm wondering whether, because ticket sales didn't go the way they wanted, they had to do some maneuvering and adjustments to get certain people into the title picture. If Drew was staying around till WrestleMania, there was no reason for him not to lose the title at WrestleMania and go in as champion and have a triple threat fail for whatever it is. But I think they looked at the numbers and were like, yeah, we need to push and get Cody there, because he is a seller for a lot of fans out there. So I think that's probably the main reason why it's happened. They may argue, we might see on Unreal Season 2 where, they planned this 6 months ago, and we could all be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look. What else? Anything else that happened on SmackDown? Oh, so we had Jelly Roll. So on SmackDown, Jelly Roll featuring SmackDown, we had Jelly Roll defeating Kit Wilson in his first singles match in WWE. A SmackDown only 3 weeks before WrestleMania, having Jelly Roll with the most on-screen time of any WWE superstar is a bit baffling to me. But hey, is he going to have a match at WrestleMania? Do we see that happening?
He's had something.
I don't know what it'll incur. But how do we feel about him beating Kit Wilson?
Yeah. I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with him taking a loss against him. It's how he took the loss.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's usually with any kind of celebrity involvement, if they pick up the win, it's usually like heavily, like kind of heavily helped out. There's
Yeah.
there are a lot of distractions.
Somebody else he gets hit by somebody else. He takes advantage of a situation. Yeah, something.
Even like when the refs would have matches and things like that, like you would see like Hebner against somebody, it would be like, oh, Hebner gets the win because Austin stunned somebody, something like that. To me, I don't. Again, I don't like part-time wrestlers, but I'm not really much on celebrity wrestlers either. I don't mind the odd, but I kind of somebody coming in to push the kind of product or movie or something like that. But for me, it just seems a bit kind of, you've got a full-time guy here, but no, you sell a lot of records, so come on in and beat one of the roster. Doesn't work for me, but again, I don't think this match is going to be kind of, well, with this, whatever's going to happen at WrestleMania, I don't think it's going to be aimed at me. It's not really my kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could have had The Miz at ringside because The Miz and Kit Wilson have been obviously having this relationship backstage, and he could have been trying to point out to him his mistakes and getting involved and cause that kind of little bit of distraction, which allowed Jelly Roll to take an advantage. But getting a relatively clean win over Kit Wilson is kind of strange. Lee, how are we feeling about Jelly Roll?
I love Jelly Roll as a musician. He's always in my top 5 for Spotify. As a wrestler, he obviously loves the product.
He does.
Yeah, I don't see him having a match at WrestleMania. I think that was
he's had his fill now on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if we're going to see him at Mania, and I think we will, it'll be in the Orton Cody, because he took the RKO at the end, didn't he? And yeah. That was an ugly RKO as well.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, that's a good shout.
I don't mind him beating Kit. Kit's not going to.
No, it doesn't really affect Kit in any way because of the kind of character he is. But
yeah,
it's
not great.
It's not. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not great. Chris said Elimination Chamber should be his own thing. Yeah, totally agree. Royal Rumble needs to be moved up closer to WrestleMania. I couldn't cope with that, Chris. No, sorry. January is Rumble season. I can't have it in closer. You just don't need him picking the winners so far in advance. That's all. Reggie, is Jelly Roll part of the WWE roster? I mean, he's heading that way, but no, he's not officially part of the roster at all. Chris, Cody asked Drew to have the championship. Drew was never meant to have it. Yeah, I've heard there's a lot where Cody was pushing Drew to have it, but the agreement was he would have it back before WrestleMania. I don't know all about that. All I'm doing is I'm taking it at face value from how it's been booked. Drew got it, did nothing with it, and it got taken away from him. And I wasn't a fan of that. So that's how I feel about it. And then we had the last match I want to talk about, Women's United States Championship match, Julia versus Tiffany Stratton. Clean win there, kind of by Julia, a little slight distraction, but this was a bit of a sloppy match. Tiff didn't look great. But again, it's not something I'm really caring about. I've lost all kind of interest in Tiffany Stratton. She was great when she came onto the scene. I always said I think she'd be better as a heel than a face. And she's kind of in that face role still. I'm just not a big fan. Lee, how are you feeling about Tiffany? And should Julia be having more exposure and better quality out there in terms of her run?
Julia should be Julia should be out constantly. She's brilliant. She's such a talent. And her matches, particularly the NXT ones, were must see. They were.
Oh, we've lost the audio from Lee. I'll wait for him to see if he can fit.
That's how excited I got. I hit the mute button. Now, Julia's brilliant. Tiff, I think this will be a SmackDown before Mania match, possibly a triple threat with Chelsea Green if she's. I don't think it's a Mania match, which is a shame. But that mainly because the amount of fit women's matches that then will be on the card, I think is She's so good, Julia. And
She
Kiana
looks
James.
great. Oh,
Yeah.
Kiana James is fantastic as well. And I think we'll see a lot more of these people in WrestleMania next year, you know, and like cards later out of the year, you know, hopefully SummerSlam and stuff like that. There's definitely opportunities there. I think we really need a draft. We really need to mix things up and have some new feuds and stuff like that, because as crazy as it sounds, the roster seems quite thin.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Then in terms of quality for me, but yeah, like
Yeah.
top quality, like top end main event guys for me. But yeah, the draft I think would be a good idea as long as they stick to the draft. There is no point having this draft and 5 free agents. Just have a draft, and
Agreed.
unless there is a crazy illness or well, lots of injuries, doesn't work for me. Just going back to the Tiffany thing, guys. I would class Tiffany in the same kind of bracket as Jade, where I think things are far too early. It's just a bit too. She's went too high too quick. That kind of immense high of her cashing in and getting the title and things like that, and then the whole Charlotte thing. And ever since, well, actually, since she actually picked up the title, I think it's went downwards. The Charlotte thing did nothing for either of those in that match, or like any, and since then it just seemed to kind of tapered out and tapered out and tapered out. And now she's in with Julia, who is far more talented in ring just now. And it just didn't really seem to mean anything to me. I don't think it did. I'm with Lee. I don't think it should be on the Mania on the card at all. I don't.
No, I agree.
As good as Julia is, I just don't think it adds anything to the card.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I think what I would have liked is, because they were building Tiff to be the face, obviously because of Nia Jax, the relationship there. I would have had her turn instantly. And it seemed like maybe she did, because she's like, oh, you thought I was a stumble on, but it's my plan all along. They should have capitalized that and turned her heel straight away as a champion. And I think that would have worked so much better. But she gets a pop for her entrance music because it's Tiffy time. And she sells some t-shirts. And so she is where she is. Chris, Tiffany to me is like Jade. Now that the limelight is on her, you can see she's missing something. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think we're all the same thoughts. Right, so gentlemen, let's just kind of have a little recap of where WrestleMania is at the moment. Okay, so I was talking about banging on about how the graphics for WrestleMania were kind of all over the place, and we had loads of different versions. And Sam made a point that he's like, it looks like something's for night 1 and something's for night 2. I was like, right, okay, I understand that now. I still think the Thunderdome version looks absolutely awful. I think it's terrible graphics. So what I've done is I've kind of separated all the matches we have so far for each night. Now, I don't know which one is night 1 and which is night 2. I'm going to go on the presumption that Cody and Randy will be night 2, because it's generally the WWE Championship that closes out the show. However, I think maybe it might be Punk Roman this year. But let's talk about WrestleMania to start with. Oh, John Cena is going to be the host. Again, ticket sales are taking a nosedive. Let's make a phone call. John, I know you've only been gone 3-4 months, but can you please come back and host WrestleMania, because our ticket sales have taken a nosedive. I don't have an issue with it. I think it leads more into potentially him introducing AJ into the Hall of Fame, if he's going to be there as well. So I can kind of see that relating. How do we feel John Cena being host of WrestleMania? Is it too soon?
No, it's John Cena, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
If you're going to bring him back this soon, it has to be Mania. And he's not coming back to wrestle, guys. He's not going to have. So we're getting John Cena coming out. We get that entrance, that pop in a stadium. Is anybody going to say no to that? Come on.
That is Mania. That is WrestleMania.
It's Mania. Yeah. The man, and to be honest, the whole host thing seems a bit silly at times to me. We don't need a host for WrestleMania. But John Cena, if you're going to pick any member of the roster who's going to do it, other than possibly The Miz, who, again, I think he's hosted things as well, and it wasn't that great. I think he's done Mania. Cena speaks so well. Yes, it is the neutral path he always takes, but that's what we like. We like John Cena. We're happy with it. Get him on screen. Get him talking. Get the crowd. The crowd will love it. The viewers will love it. He's back, and then we can take a bit more of a break from John after that.
Yeah. Okay. So one night we have CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley, Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi, Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams, the Intercontinental Ladder match, Penta, Yvonne Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, and Rusev, and then Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio, which obviously got made official this week as well. So they're all lined up for one night. We've spoken about Brock and Oba, I think, being potentially our favorite there. Is there any other matches there that kind of really stand out where you're like, I'm really interested to see how this goes?
All of them for me.
Good lineup.
Yeah, I was thinking that's really well balanced actually for night one. I think that'd be night two, but yeah, I think
okay.
I think you open with the ladder match, you get them all hyped up, and you just go from there. Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
All right. Night two, we have Cody versus Randy. We have Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch, Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu, the Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way match, and then Seth Rollins versus Gunther. So, from a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't sure how WrestleMania was looking to pan out, but having a look at the card as it is at the moment, there's a lot of good potential matches there. You know, it is a really strong lineup. Regardless of how we feel about how maybe they've been doing some of the build, I think the actual matches which they've gotten to are pretty solid considering the injuries and kind of complications they've had to navigate around leading into this. So, night two, Friday, how are you feeling about that? Or it could be night one. But
it's I'm kind of hoping that is night one. Just because I don't think it's a bad card. I just think it's a bit weaker. That's all. And again, it's not because of the matches. It's because of the build. And I'm not going to go over that again and get negative in the build like we're saying when we're all aware of it now. But it's not a bad card. And it again, sometimes like the best things come from kind of the most unexpected parts. Yeah, I mean, we never knew back then that TLC was going to be a thing. We just thought we were going to get tag matches and things like that. And
yeah.
Nobody could have expected what came out of it. Likewise, we were talking about the hardcore match. It was thrown together, and then everybody remembers it. There's so many examples of that. I know we hark back to WrestleMania 17 there a lot, but that's because that's one of the peak times. You know what I mean? So why not aim for that kind of thing? Hopefully, the talent take this on and they just put last year's WrestleMania to bed, and we get a proper Vegas WrestleMania that we remember for quite a while. I'm looking forward to it. I'm positive about it, and I'm starting to get more hyped as the weeks go on.
Yeah, because we were speaking when we were doing our build up, like, oh, this multi-man match. We've only actually got two, which is really surprising. Actually, there's a lot of single matches on here, which I was quite surprised at. We've got no women's US championship match on there. We've got no men's tag team championship matches at all, SmackDown or Raw. We've got no men's US. No, men's US we have. Who am I thinking of? So yeah, I think those are the main ones, isn't it? Because we've got the women's US is missing at the moment. So yeah, so we know we're not going to get every title on the line, but I'd like to see a men's tag match on there as well.
I agree.
You need to put one of them on there. And this comes back to me where I think they should get rid of one of them. I think we should only have one set of tag belts for the men. And because I think like Raw, you've got 2-3 teams on there. It's there's no tag divisions. So, now other than the Usos, who goes against Logan Paul and Austin Theory for those titles?
There's no one, is there? They are there. The War Raiders is a great tag team.
Yeah, they're there. Yeah,
I know he's injured.
Creed brothers, they're there as well, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's the same with the tag titles on SmackDown. Priest, I think, is going to miss Mania this year. I think he's.
Yeah, I'd imagine they might have a title match the night before. Priest and R-Truth. Yeah, probably on the Friday SmackDown the night before. But yeah, they need to sort their tag division out because it's an absolute mess.
I think there is one match that stands out for me that it just holds us back from being a really, really elite Mania, and that's AJ and Becky. And I think if you put a stipulation in it, I think then you've got a complete card. I'd buy that pay-per-view. I think it's a brilliant Mania lineup.
That's a really good shout. Yeah. Alex has said a bunch of matches that I want to see, but not excited, as there isn't one story I'm enthralled with other than Brock Ober. Yeah, and I think that's it. It's the matches themselves look good, but the storytelling hasn't quite been there. Punk and Roman, I think they did a decent job, but I think they just peaked too early. And now it's gone a little bit silly. But I think that was some really good promos that was cut there. Orton and Cody, it feels like it should be better. It feels like it should be bigger, and I'm not sure why it hasn't yet. You know, with Gordon Orton heel turn, it's friends who are now fighting for for the championship, and I don't know. I don't know why it isn't quite clicking the same way. Maybe it's just me and my age. I don't know. But is there something missing with that, guys?
I think we'll get there. I think by Mania, because we've still got 3 weeks to go, I think it'll all fall into place, the stories and stuff. Mania 17 had the shortest build-up I can remember. You think like Undertaker and Triple H had a week. I think it was just Kane was going to throw Stephanie off a balcony. That was it. Angle and Benoit just they started the Mania.
Yeah.
Angle and Benoit. The TLC didn't have that much of a build. It was
it's again. I think that's what it is. It doesn't have to be over elaborate. We don't need to go crazy with the build of this. Sometimes it's just I don't like you. Let's fight. Sometimes there's a title on the line. Sometimes it's pride. Sometimes it's something else. We don't need to go. Everything doesn't have to be a blood feud. Everything doesn't have to be revenge and something else. Yes, it is good to have a lot of that as well, but then you oversaturate it with every single one that we've got just now being that kind of way, where Becky and AJ is going this way, and that Punk and Roman are going this way, and Cody and Randy are doing the back and forward thing. Give me Oba and Brock every day over that, but I'm still hyped. I'm not negative about WrestleMania. I still think it will come into place. Like you say, Lee, there is still a while to go. Just don't don't hit the peak and then overdo it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to push every match every week. Yeah, and that's what you don't need to do. You know, there's plenty of time. You have like 3 hours on each show. You can spend a little bit more time each week on the individual stories and not having to try and squeeze everything in. And besides, we need Dan. Why isn't Dan Housen hosting WrestleMania? That's what I want to know. That is what I want.
If I could say something controversial,
go on.
I would like a little bit more wrestling on my weekly wrestling shows. I would like to see a few more matches or just longer matches.
Matches that don't just end in DQs.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly that. No, 100%.
Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought it? We're in a good place right now. A few weeks to go. I will be doing a live stream for WrestleMania Nights 1 and 2. So if anybody wants to watch along, that would be awesome. And we can just talk about it as it happens. Gentlemen, is there anything else that either of you want to talk about?
No, just the Hall of Fame. I think the Hall of Fame this year looks like one of the best in a long time.
I agree.
I really like it. I just wish, again, I hate to criticise the Hall of Fame, but maybe, again, a bit too late. Sid didn't pass away that long ago, so it would have been nice to have had. It's nice for these guys to see getting the recognition and things like that as well, because a lot of these guys weren't treated the way they are treated just now. You know what I mean? So these guys had shorter kind of lifespans. I'm thinking, look, there's so many of them guys. Like, I'm a big Bret Hart fan, and he's the only member of the Hart Foundation that's basically left now. You know what I mean? A lot of those guys went in when they went here, like Bulldog and things like that. So maybe, hopefully, this will let them speed this up a little bit more with some more deserving guys. But this year looks great. I'm really pleased Sid's going in and a few of the others. So yeah, I think it looks like an absolutely stellar year for Hall of Fame.
Chris said the Bushwhackers need to go into the Hall of Fame. I used to like the Bushwhackers when I was younger.
Are they not in it? They're in it, aren't they, the Bushwhackers?
Did they go in recently?
sure they've been in the last 10, 15 years. I remember them walking out.
That rings a bell, actually. Bushwhackers Hall of Fame. Yeah, 2015. Yeah. So they are
There you go, Chris.
already in it. So there you go, Chris.
Make your dreams come true, mate.
Yeah. And Alex says Sid was a favorite of mine as a kid. Yeah, he was a real baddie as we were growing up. So yeah, no, definitely. Right, okay, I think that's it. We're gonna wrap up for tonight. So guys, Lee, thank you very much for joining. Much appreciated, Mr. HR Hottie, as always. And Bells Up Rider, where can people find you?
Usual on TikTok, Belt Up Brido. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, although they are very, very early kind of stages. But yeah, Belt Up Brido on TikTok, as the name says, usually talking about title belts and other things wrestling related.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much to everybody who's watching on YouTube. We appreciate you. Thank you for getting into the comments. As always, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified. I'll be converting this show into a podcast, which will go out onto Apple, Spotify, and Audible. So in future, if you want to be part of the show and you want to be part of the podcast and get your name out there, please make sure you get into the comments, whether it be here on YouTube, Facebook, or on TikTok. But that's it for us. So until next time, thank you very much, guys, and see you next week. Peace.